Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Victor Sepulveda, your host here on Bearded Bear Sports. It's that time again. The reason for the season, the crown jewel of them all. Chargers football is back, and with that, you can expect to see me grace your screens for the entirety of the season. It's been a long time since I've presented myself to you guys, and we've got many topics to go over, starting right now. The first week of training camp has come and gone. With that, we've seen a lot of new faces, but first, we're going to go over the top 3 free agency signings that I think will impact this team in the upcoming season. We're going to start off with Tyler Biadasz, the replacement for Bradley Bozeman. Biadasz comes from Washington, where he was a 2-year starting center for Jayden Daniels. In his first season, they made the NFC Championship game, where they lost to the Philadelphia Eagles, who then went on to win the Super Bowl that year. Now, Biadasz has given up 4 sacks in those 2 seasons, which, quite honestly, is a huge upgrade from what Bozeman used to give us. He gave up no QB hits, a very minimal amount of pressures, and as I keep saying, it's a huge upgrade to when Bozeman was with us for those 2 years. A lot of fans wanted Tyler Linderbaum. With the way that the Raiders threw a bag at him, very highly unlikely that the Chargers were ever going to match that. We did, however, get a solid general of the offensive line, and I'm excited to see how he protects Justin Herbert in this upcoming season. Let's move on to our second impact player, Keaton Mitchell. Now, Keaton Mitchell has a 2-year, $9.25 million contract with the Chargers. He's an undrafted free agent. He had 2 seasons in Baltimore where he averaged 5.8 yards a carry. Mitchell's main strength is his speed. He's explosive. He has over 11 runs with 10 plus yards under them. So he was injured in his first 2 seasons though, the beginning of the year. So he has some injury concerns, but with McDaniel's offense being all about speed and explosiveness and quickness, Mitchell's going to fit right in and probably take a good amount of carries away from Omarion Hamilton. Lastly, David Njoku, or as he likes to call himself, Chief Njoku. Njoku signed a 1-year, $8 million deal with the Chargers. He's a 9-year vet. All 9 years he played with Cleveland, and every year he just seems to be getting better and better and better. He's a huge red zone threat, with 26 of his 34 touchdowns coming from the 20-yard line forward. Now, since 2022, he has over 1,400 yards after the catch. Justin Herbert has always needed someone to make a little bit more extra happen after they catch the ball. Njoku is that guy. Now, these 3 players I do believe will help the Chargers take that step forward, hopefully win that first playoff game for Justin Herbert, and the rest will be history. Let's move on to the rookies who I think will be the biggest impact on this team. Again, we're going to start off with the number 1 pick for the Chargers, Akeem Mesidor. Now, I know that he had a lot of controversy with him when he was drafted. He's 25 years old. He's one of the older draft picks. I don't think it's a problem. When his rookie contract ends, he'll be 29 or 30, depending on if they pick up his 5th-year option or give him a contract extension. And so his best years will be pretty cheap, in my opinion. He was crucial in Miami's defense for the national championship run. He had 12.5 sacks, 17.5 tackles for loss. He was all over the field along with Ruben Bain. Mesidor was brought in probably to replace Mack next year. Hopefully, give Thule a bit of a working companion to wreak havoc on quarterbacks. But I personally think this is going to be a great addition to the Chargers. They're going to have a young, strong, get-after-it mentality core with Thule and Mesidor. And I'm excited to see how this defense plays under new defensive coordinator Chris O'Leary, who I think will bring out the best in Mesidor. Next, Brennan Thompson. Now, if you've been reading all over X or Twitter, however you like to call it, I still like to call it Twitter. That's just me. Brennan Thompson has already been showing flashes and has already been having that connection with Justin Herbert. Sliding catches, sideline catches, all of the above. Now, this is a guy who kept also improving year after year. incredible speed, a 4.26 40-yard dash. He has 18.5 yards per catch, and he rallied in 6 touchdowns last year for Mississippi State. Again, another pass catcher who fits very well in that McDaniels offense. McDaniel really focused on speed, quickness. It's what McDaniels wants. It's all about timing, and Brennan Thompson's speed and quickness will allow McDaniels to kind of have that Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle receiver in his arsenal. And lastly, a lot of people, me included, I was a little skeptical about this pick, but it makes sense if we look at it the way that I'm going to end this segment on him. Jake Slaughter. He's a Remington Trophy finalist, and that's an award that they give out to one of the best centers, or to the best center in college football. Just being put up there, that's great, you know. It recognizes he was one of the best centers in college football. Now he only had 4 total pressures last season, which again, they play in the SEC. They have plenty of competition over there in the SEC with Georgia, Alabama, you name it. He was also a 2-time All-American, but all of these accolades were for center. Now, I know they want to switch him to guard. They want to have him kind of be that, maybe take over for, I forget his name, Ayahuasca. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced it if you watched this video. Or Cole Strange. But I personally think he should just be considered the future of the center. The future of center. The center of the future. My goodness, I apologize. He should just be considered the center of the future for the Chargers. Have him be, those first 2 years, just have him follow Biadasz. Have him learn how to just run an offensive line in the NFL. Because he is a bit undersized. He's really good. He's really solid in his technique. He is a bit undersized, and he does tend to get a bit turned when he is on the line. However, I am not upset with any of these draft picks. I think these will be the 3 draft picks and make almost an instant impact for us. Now, lastly, let's talk about the first week of training camp. We got 3 major stories, and the first one is not one of my favorites. Tuli Tuipulotu is holding in, meaning he's still participating in individual drills here and there. He's got his helmet on, he's got his cleats on, but he's not participating in the team drills. We've seen this plenty of times in other teams or across the years, and realistically, I haven't seen this really happen since Le'Veon Bell did his holdout. Now, I know Le'Veon Bell, not even a Charger, but personally, that's when I really started taking notice of this, and I do think it is a bit hurtful, not only to the team, but to the player themselves. They're not getting that chemistry. They're not really working out with the rest of their teammates, and that does hurt a bit. Now, yes, he is going through individual drills. He is still standing on the sideline. He is still present in meetings, I'm assuming. He is still present with his position, but he's not getting that not game time, but that practice time on 11-on-11 in any team drills, and that, I feel, personally hurts him and the team. Now, he did have a career year last year. 13.5 sacks, 20 tackles for loss, 2 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery. He's just looking for a contract extension, which by all means he should have, but it remains to see if he can personally recreate this when Mac is out, because when Mac was out last year, not to hate on Tuli, I'm a huge USC guy. I love seeing them come to the Chargers. But when Mac wasn't there, it was a bit hard for Tuli to get anything going until Odafe Owe showed up. So I think he should get a contract. How big it comes out to depends on the Chargers and him to figure that out. And next, this one's going to tie into the last story I have, but it is a huge story that started in OTAs. Justin Herbert has changed his footwork, his foot stance, his starting stance, however you want to name it. He now has his right foot slightly ahead of his left foot. Now, why this is important? It's all about the timing. It's all about precision from Mike McDaniel. Everything in Mike McDaniel's offense is quick. It's speedy. It needs to happen at a certain time. It's timely. Now, with this, it's meant to help his timing, getting the ball out quicker, handing the ball off in a different manner. Now, if he's got a running back on his left, Herbert doesn't really have to bring this foot up and then put the ball right here. He can easily just grab it, hand it off, right? That's what McDaniel's offense is about, which now leads us into the last story, McDaniel's emphasis on quickness. There was a clip circulating in that first week which shows McDaniel yelling at his offensive line, get to the ball, get to the ball, get to the ball, get to the ball. He wants everything to be quick, speedy, at the time that he needs it. Again, I just said this in the last segment. McDaniels is all about timing. That's why Tyreek Hill and Tua always had the connection. The timing was always there. It needs to be 1, 2, 3, and go. That's McDaniel's offensive mindset. It puts a lot of pressure on the secondary, gets a lot of sacks, gets rid of a lot of sack opportunities for the defense, and quite honestly, it'll keep Justin Herbert healthy. That's something that I want to see. That's something that you as fans, we all want to see that. So, again, McDaniel's emphasis on quickness is all about timing. That's going to do it for us today, folks. Thank you so much for joining me here on Bearded Bear Sports. Now, I want to end these things with one trivia question always. Now, this one might not be trivia. This is more just let me get to know you. Who or what game was the reason that you became a Chargers fan? Now, you can answer that in the comments. You can send it to me on my Instagram, which I will display down here soon. Please let me know, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Join me soon, and we'll keep talking Chargers. Have a great day, everyone. I'll catch you later.